Hey guys, what's up? I wanted to do a little entry route, wind specific entry route video for you tonight. I get some questions of how I'm entering my setups or entering my spots. Uh, using the wind and being wind savvy to going into my setups. So tonight, actually in a little bit here, I am going to be, let's see, there is a huge buck bed under this tree and this tree. You can see the trails coming in here, and I'm going to hunt over in here. I would be a fool if I didn't hunt over here. I'm sure there's trails coming through here, blah blah blah. But all these trails converging together are just telling me that something's going on here. They're coming in here and out of here. These are probably exit trails. They're so beat down. It could be both, but I don't know. But I I'm gonna set up in here tonight. It's 1:30. I'm gonna leave about half hour, 2:30, somewhere in there, a little bit after 2 tonight. Go hunt this, but I wanted to show you how I'm going to set up in here. So I'm hunting tonight. We got a north. This is north, of course. This is south. This is west, east. Tonight we got a storm coming, and we got a northeast wind. So I do this every time I'm going hunting. I pull my spots up, and I draw two lines like a wind channel. Not that that's going to be the steady wind, but I know not to cross these lines out of the direction it's coming northeast. I'm going to walk. The parking's up in here, up to the north, and I'm going to walk down in here. And what I'm going to do is walk through here and try to bust my butt through here as quiet as I can, and just sneak through here and try to set up as close to this transition as I can, so I can get an eye on these trees, an eye on this point to see what's going on in here. This is an observation sit, but it's also a kill sit because I have all these trails coming in here. I could kill something, and I have a really good feeling that I just might at least see something, see a nice one or whatever. But my wind tunnel, I call it my wind tunnel. Here's my beds. Here's my area where I'm going to be hunting, what I'm hunting, where they're coming from. Here's my wind channel for the night. Not that it won't shift, but that's why we have milkweed. Um, so on a northeast wind, I can come in from anywhere and set up. I am not, and I always, on my entry raise, I always stay away from, I don't care what the wind's doing, stay away from the transition edge, because there is going to be other deer, I'm sure, bedding here. I don't want to pick this off. This bed here is humongous. This looks like a couple deer laying under this tree, but this tree here is where it's at. Um, I almost pretty much sure there'll be a deer under this tree tonight. If it's a one I think is under there, I hope, but this is a monster bed. It looks like 5 deer sitting here, but it's only one buck. It's got buck characteristics all over it. It looks like 5 deer sitting here or laying here during the day, but it's not. It's one buck, and he's moving positions, as the wind shifts. And these marsh beds and swamp beds are more hearing specific, where they can hear. They use their ears more than anything, in my opinion, and what I've been learning and researching, and because to me, I think they use a little of both, but I really think they're using their ears in these marshes and stuff, um, more than anything, because they can't see nothing. This is walls of cattail, or not cattails, phragmite. This is walls of phragmite. And these soft transition on these points are thick, and they're just really, really thick. Like this island here looks like there's nothing there, but this is probably 6, 8 foot, 10 foot brush all around these trees here. You can't really probably walk through it, but looks like it's more pines and stuff. But the wind, like I said, if it's a northeast wind, and I'm using this as an example because tonight is a northeast wind, I'm not coming down this transition, and I wouldn't come down this transition for an entryway. I stay away from transitions entering the woods anyway. I try to get to a spot and walk straight in through the woods more than anything, because most of my deer are going to be out on this transition, and you'll have some other ones, up in here, but what we're after is out on these edges. Um, but northeast wind is a pretty good wind for these beds because you could walk in from almost anywhere. I would stay away from the transition, like I'd say, but you can come into this bed with anything. I'd start being real sneaky and real stealthy about up in here, which is probably for, I don't know, 300-400 yards. Yeah, I mean 300 yards. Because remember, these deer in these marshes and swamps are really relying on their wind, and I think mostly their nose. Um, so you really, really want to be savvy on this. So this one I'm going to hunt tonight is impossible to hunt on any northwest wind or any west wind, because if you walk in from anywhere, your scent's going to get to the buck in the bed, and I don't like to take that chance. Like if you walk in this way, and this point is impossible to hunt. This is not. I would walk in straight in, and I would hug this here and hunt on this edge over on this left side if I had a west or a northwest wind, and hoping the wind would just miss him. Just miss. Southwest wind, you'd be fine. Um, but northwest wind, this point down here where I'm going to sit tonight, would be impossible, because this would be a west wind, this would be a northwest wind, and even a north wind would be absolutely impossible to hunt this. I think unless you'd have to really come from over in here to, well, northwest. Yeah, north you could hunt this, but you had to be really, you did a long, real long walk. But northwest wind, you could be impossible to hunt this. Could be impossible because you got a northwest wind and a west wind. Be impossible to hunt this because you couldn't get down in here without. Here's your buck beds. Here's a west wind or northwest. Here's your west wind. You'd have to. I don't. You couldn't hunt this because the wind would be getting to him. It's almost bulletproof for a west or a northwest wind. So these points are hunted on any east wind, any south wind, and you can hunt them on a north wind. These are no good in west and northwest winds. You just can't get to them. You can't set up. You'd have to come from the south. That's the only way you could do it. And good luck getting through all of this. Good luck. Um, but like tonight, I'm hunting these beds here. You got northeast wind. I'm going to come in along this ditch. I am not walking this transition to come in. The parking's up here. Not walking this transition. I'm going to walk straight in, cross this ditch, come over, and set up as close as I can without spooking this area. Being so quiet you can't even hardly hear. It might take me an hour to put my stand up, but that's how you got to do it, man. It won't take an hour, but 20 minutes maybe, tops. But that's how you got to do it. and you got to be really, really sound and wind savvy with these guys in these marshes, especially wind, or especially noise. They're listening for any off the wall noise there is, and you hear metal on metal, you're not going to see them. Even the wind. If you came in here and came all the way up in here and walked in on this island on this point with a northwest wind or a west wind, that that wind, your scent is still going to get to this buck in here one of these beds. And what to me, I don't want to blow them chances because if he smells human up in here, that's going to give him a chance to get up and go this way. Because you can see trails going this way. You can see them right here. Don't think they don't go that way and cross that water. I want this buck to be confident, get up and use one of these trails and come on this point. And I don't want to give him one doubt in his mind that he has something in here of danger. I want to give him the confidence that he'll be fine to come on to this point because he's probably going to make it to about right here, anywhere in here, probably right in here till it's dark. That's why you got to be as close as you can to these guys and be quiet because this is probably a nice one. It's probably a pretty good deer that is bedding here. He's got a lot of trails coming out of here, and if he's here tonight, we'll see. I'm sure there'll be a deer in there, and he's probably not here if there's a mature buck, and I know there's mature bucks in here. If there's a mature buck in this bed tonight, I don't know. There might be a 4-pointer in this bed, but there'll be a deer in these beds. There'll be deer bedding here, but hopefully there'll be one of the mature ones. But like I said, if you cross that wind stream at all, it's going to give a doubt in this deer's mind of being safe coming out into here where you're sitting. So why give him that doubt in his mind? So just keep all that stuff in mind when you're on your entries. Your entries are so important. They got to be quiet, and you got to think of the wind, real quiet. So, all right, guys, I'm heading out, man. So hopefully I'll see something and spread the word, man. I'm just trying to pay it forward to what I've been learning the last couple of years, and is having a great time doing it, man. Share and like, and as usual, subscribe and like to the Buck site.